So, I wanted to sort of jump on here for a second and discuss over the importance of having good people around you, like a brotherhood, yeah, making sure that it's a classic case of your network is your net worth. And I've always understood it, but never really put it into practice. That check's doing my head in already. So, yeah, I mean, what's important when you're entering the realms, excuse me, of brotherhood is that your internal self-talk is productive. It is making sure that not only is it productive, but it is also reinforcing positive feedback loops into your mind. Because without that, when you go into places like this, there will be, no doubt, there will be people who will be above you. And if there's not, then perhaps it's the wrong group for you. So there's a phrase that I often hear, I say often, that I've heard multiple times, is if you are the smartest person in the room, then you're actually in the wrong room altogether. So the reason why it's important to have the reason why it's important to have a positive self-talk is not only due to the fact that it will help you out, but also so you can learn of these people without feeling somewhat insecure. Because whilst learning off these people, the last thing that you want to do is be feeling, insecure or feeling like, oh, they're better than me, they're talking down to me, coming from that sort of, that perspective of, oh, they're not going to add value to me. So that's why it's important to be sure within yourself that you're speaking to the right people. It leads nicely into the next point, which is networking, right? Investing in networking groups. So it can be hard to network without investing, because the more money you're able to throw at the wall and to go boom, 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 you know what I mean? Double jab, fucking right hook, left hook, orthodox, southpaw, it doesn't matter. But the more money you can throw at something, the more shortcuts you can take, right? So it's worth considering, at the very least, if you can jump into networking groups. And if you do need a couple, from what I've experienced, I can send you a couple of links, some sort of lower price ones, one higher price one that I've just got into recently that seems pretty cool. And I just think why it's important is because it allows you to surround yourself with like-minded individuals. So if you are looking to go into something that is your niche, for example, what I'm going into in remote sales, you need to be surrounded by people who are like-minded in that same industry as you, because without that, working remotely, it can be very lonely. And that will lead nicely into a video that I'll talk about sort of in the future on the 3 things that you need to enjoy your work, which will be very sort of insightful, because I've been reading a few books on it, and I've got, from what I would consider anyway, without being biased, a good perspective. Now, while being biased, I think that I have a lot of insight into what makes a job enjoyable now, because I've spent a lot of times doing jobs that I don't enjoy now. The third point that I would add is it's very important to add value, I guess. Do you know what I mean? Be in a position where you can add value to people's lives for free. Because the more value that you can add, the more they're going to be like, oh, that fucking Jack guy, he told me this. And it could even be knowledge that you've paid for, right? You might have spent a couple of grand getting this knowledge from a course, or over a period of multiple courses, or a period of multiple networking groups, you've learned that off other individuals. You're like, right, boom, store it, write it down on a notepad, notes on your phone, whatever. Because then you'll be able to recite to that, and then when you're speaking to Jerry, right, and he's earning 15k a month, you can be like, oh, Jerry, did you know this? Boom, boom, boom. And all of a sudden he's like, well, I didn't know that. This guy clearly is adding value. And then he can put you in rooms with other people who are earning that same amount. That's the sort of understanding that I have behind it at the moment anyway. Obviously my perception is no doubt going to change and it's going to evolve as I progress further in to the realms, into the labyrinths of networking as it stands. The one last point that I did want to make, and it's almost something that I've got from somebody else, to be honest. It's a YouTuber called Hamza, who, if you haven't watched, I will link his channel below, because he is a fucking G, bro. Like, he is probably the reason, well, not the reason, I'm the reason where I am today, but he's one of the reasons that inspired me to be introspective and to think more for myself, because his journey has been pretty fucking incredible, to be honest. So what I would say before I forget is that you need to do the stuff that you don't want to do, right? He uses the phrase, do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Now, some of you might sit there and cringe at that phrase, but if you cringe at that, then you're just just a little fucking, I don't know, like a little beta male, basically. You need to be able to do the hard work. If you're cringing at that phase, and it's like you're not there yet, you don't understand the importance of doing that when you're not feeling like it. Oh, I don't want to go to the gym, say go in anyway, right? Overriding the comfort zone and how your brain keeps you entrapped in that area of your life. For example, in this instance, it was more or less like a case of jumping on a quick 10-minute Discord chat, 10-minute Zoom call, whatever it is, so that you and other people can network. And what I found out today is that Calendly is actually a free service. So you can send your calendar to people within networking groups. Now, you can even get free networking groups on Facebook. I was going to say Instagram, but I don't think you could get them on Instagram, but you can definitely get them on Facebook. Actually, no, I believe you can. You would be able to get them on Instagram. People have certain channels and stuff that you can tap into, but certainly Facebook, LinkedIn, I think that's it. YouTube maybe is a good place to start searching. Search for the people that you listen to, see if they got any links or any Discords or anything. Then you can network that. That's a good free way of doing it. Or obviously you have the paid route. That's shortcuts, chatting to fucking weird American Donnies. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, pretty sure that's everything. I've got a couple of notes here that I was just referencing off. Not quite there yet in terms of just going off the cuff, but yeah, just do the stuff that you don't want to do and really zone in on that, so that you are able to just force yourself to do the hard work. And what's important is, whilst you're doing this hard work, to tell yourself, even if you're not enjoying it, trick yourself into thinking that you are enjoying it. Because what I understand is that will actually increase your testosterone levels as well, which is obviously huge in, your drive and your push and making sure that you want to do and can achieve the absolute maximum. So yeah, that's it. 8 minutes, 30 seconds of absolute value, mate.